Welcome to Streets of the U.S. Today, I will be discussing one of the largest street gangs that has international ties. Mara Salvatrucha, also known as MS-13, was started in Los Angeles in the 1980s. This gang has been involved in multiple murders and multiple crimes all over the world. Now, I will discuss some of the crimes members of this group have been involved in. In 2023 in Houston, Carla Morales brought Alfonso Villanueva to a field, telling him they were going to hang out and smoke weed for his birthday. She lured him to the location where 5 MS-13 gang members were waiting to ambush him. Villanueva had disrespected the gang members during a rap battle. Villanueva was slashed with a machete and shot. His body was found in the field a week later. Carla was arrested and eventually she was sentenced to 30 years in prison. The other gang members responsible were caught and were convicted of murder. Francisco Flores Salazar was one of the MS-13 members responsible for that murder, and he pled guilty and was sentenced to 45 years in prison. In 2024, a high-ranking member of MS-13 was arrested at the California-Mexico border for narco-terrorism charges. The arrest took place at the San Ysidro port of entry, which is in San Diego County. Freddy Parada was arrested March 7th. He was originally indicted in December of 2020. He was a part of a group that was leading the MS-13 in their crime activities in various countries. Those countries were the US, Honduras, Mexico, and El Salvador. He was a part of the MS-13 street gang for 20 years. Freddy was a part of the MS-13 leadership known as the 12 Apostles of the Devil. Today, that group is called the Ranfla Nacional. This group controls thousands of MS-13 members. Parada and 13 other MS-13 leaders were indicted in New York for multiple killings. The 12 Apostles of the Devil Council could call for the execution of police officers, the killing of rival gang members, and the killing of gang members who did not follow the gang's rules anymore. Now, MS-13 operates through cliques, which are smaller groups set aside from the gang. According to law enforcement, more than 200 cliques exist in El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, and the United States. MS-13 at one time had a truce with the El Salvadorian government. In 2016, the gang was getting military-style training, which they learned how to use improvised explosive devices, also known as IEDs. Another MS-13 member who was part of their leadership council was Elmer Canales Rivera, who was arrested at George Bush Airport in Houston in 2023. Elmer is a co-defendant to Freddy Parada. Elmer is also an original MS-13 member and the founder of the 12 Apostles of the Devil Council. Elmer was arrested in Mexico and handed over to U.S. authorities at the Houston airport. Elmer also has ties to the Mexican drug cartels. Now, before this arrest in Houston, Elmer was arrested by the El Salvadorian government and released under suspicious circumstances. Elmer had also been on the U.S. Most Wanted terrorist list for years. The U.S. government discovered that these gang members were not prosecuted by the El Salvadorian government and were living luxury-free lives, even though other governments were requesting the criminals be extradited. The portion of the MS-13 that Elmer was in charge of was responsible for 65 murders in the Eastern District of New York. These murders took place from 2009 to the present. In 2020, Alexander Martinez Flores was given 30 years in prison for murder. Alexander was a member of the SCSL clique of MS-13. This clique claimed gang territory in Santa Cruz, California. Alexander admitted to hunting rivals and killing them multiple times. He also admitted to killing these victims after getting approval from gang leaders in El Salvador. Alexander and the SCL clique also extorted a local drug dealer who had to pay monthly dues to the gang. Alexander's co-defendant in this part of the case got 27 years in prison. In 2019, a MS-13 gang member and 5 others were arrested in a drug bust in Arizona. Jose Ramos told police that he was an active gang member with MS-13. Law enforcement raided a home in Mesa, Arizona, and uncovered body armor, weapons stashes, multiple ammunition, 1,000 pills of fentanyl, 2 kilos of cocaine, and $28,000 in cash. In 2016, in Jamaica, Queens, New York, MS-13 gang members shot 16-year-old Luis Serrano, who they believe was a rival 18th Street gang member. Jose Gonzalez testified against his fellow gang members about the crime against Jose. The 16-year-old was left paralyzed from the attack. Jose testified against another MS-13 member named Melvi Rios. Melvi was also facing murder and racketeering charges in another case. Melvi was sentenced to life in prison for his crimes. In 2010 in El Salvador, MS-13 gang members killed 14 people on a bus. Those same gunmen had got on the bus earlier and shot 2 kids. An adult was also shot by these gang members. Now, these attacks were carried out because President Marcirio Funes started a crackdown on MS-13 in El Salvador. MS-13 wanted to extort money from the bus company. This particular bus company was already paying their rival, the 18th Street gang. And because the bus company didn't pay, the bus was shot up and set on fire with the civilians inside of it. In 2007, an arrest warrant was issued for Alvin Zelaya, aka Flacco, and 5 other members of MS-13. He was wanted in Houston for burglary of a home with an intent to commit aggravated assault and for illegal re-entry into the U.S. Zelaya and his brother Pablo Romero were also wanted in Honduras for murders. Zelaya had killed his ex-father-in-law and his ex-brother-in-law. The couple was beheaded in their home on Christmas Day in 2006. Zelaya was also involved with the massacre of 37 people on a bus in San Pedro, Honduras in December of 2004. Law enforcement caught up with Zelaya and his co-defendants, and they were all arrested. The son of that couple he had killed, who was 6 at the time, stated that he was hit with an axe by Zelaya, and that same axe he had used to kill both his parents. The daughter of the couple also testified against Zelaya. She stated that she saw their father with an axe wound to the face and their mother with an axe wound to the body. Zelaya's MS-13 clique was also responsible for at least 4 kidnappings. Zelaya was given a life sentence in Texas for his crimes. Now in 2010, Zelaya, Juan Quintero, and a third inmate were shot by Texas prison guards trying to escape from the Pulaski unit. Juan Quintero was responsible for killing the HPD officer named Rodney Johnson in 2006. In total, 5 inmates were trying to escape. They were trying to scale the fence at the Pulaski unit. Guards shot rifles and shotguns. They fired 12 rounds, striking 3 of the inmates. They all survived their injuries. If you like this story, please like, subscribe, and comment to the channel. Thank you.